Hello, this is Clarence. Let's talk about Amazon PPC advertisement. So, this is a topic that I love talking about, and that's because there's just so many things for me to share with you guys about it, so many things to learn, and the great value that it brings over the table to your Amazon business. So, as early as now, I will let you know that there are some really interesting things that I will be bringing up along the way. And before I proceed here, I'm just going to give a quick breakdown of the things that I will be covering. I will be talking about what exactly is Amazon PPC advertisement, three different types of sponsored ads, the difference between ACOS and ROAS, how SEO relates to PPC, and how PPC can help your Amazon business overall. So, without further ado, let's proceed with this. All right. What is Amazon PPC advertisement? So, it's a form of advertisement within Amazon using auction style system where advertisers usually bid on keywords. It's also commonly referred to as sponsored ads. So, PPC stands for pay per click, and as you may have already guessed, you get charged for every clicks that you get for your sponsored ads. And how much you're going to pay for each of those clicks, that depends on what's going to be your bid. And you can follow Amazon's suggested bid, they have one, but you can also set your own custom bid. Usually, the higher the search volume for a keyword is, the higher that you're going to have to bid for it as well. And just to get into the gears of this auction style system, if you're aiming to be the highest bidder for a certain keyword, then you're only gonna have to pay ever so slightly higher than the second highest bidder. Let's say that the second highest bidder is willing to bid $1.50, and then you're willing to bid $2. So you're only gonna have to pay $1.51 for each clicks that you get for your sponsored ads, not $2, even though that's what you bid for. So it's just gonna be a cent higher than the second highest bidder. Moving on. Three types of sponsored ads. You have sponsored products, sponsored brands, and sponsored display. So when you're under Seller Central and then you click on advertising, then campaign manager, and then create a campaign, this is what you're gonna see. You get to choose the type of campaign that you want to create. So before I proceed in here, just a reminder that if you're not brand registered within Amazon, then you only have access to sponsored products. You don't have access to the other two. So that's why I highly suggest that if you're a brand owner and then it's trademarked to you, then I highly suggest that you apply for Amazon's brand registry. Not only because it gives you access to all three types of sponsored ads, but it also gives you access to enhanced brand content, the attribution tool, which is gonna come in really handy if you ever decide to run non-Amazon advertisements, and also when dealing with listing hijackers. So we're gonna proceed with sponsored products first, and then when you click on continue, this is what it's gonna look like. So first thing that you're gonna see, campaign name, portfolio, start date, and daily budget. You can set your daily budget in here, and then targeting. So you have two options. You have automatic targeting and then manual targeting. So automatic targeting is you're basically giving the controls to Amazon on which keywords and products that your campaign will target. While manual targeting, you get to choose your own keywords and products that you want to target. So that's the difference between the two of them. And just we're gonna go first with manual targeting, and then just underneath that, you have campaign bidding strategy. So we have three options this time: dynamic bids, down only, dynamic bids, up and down, and fixed bids. So down only is Amazon will lower your bid when it detects that your ad may be less likely to convert to a sale. Up and down, Amazon will raise your bids by a maximum of 100% when it detects that your ad may be more likely to convert to a sale, and lower it once it detects that your ads may be less likely to convert to a sale. While fixed bids, your bid is going to stay the same. There won't be any increment or decrement. If it's $2 bid that you put, then it's just going to be $2. So I hope that was clear. And just below that, you have adjust bids by placement, which is previously called bid plus. So top of search and then product pages. Top of search refers to the very top of a search results page, while product pages, that is when you click on the product and you get routed to the product detail page, and it's referring to the product similar to this item section and also to the add to cart page. So I have a visual here, especially for the visual learners and for you to better understand as well. So we have a base bid of $1. That's gonna be our example. And fun fact, base bid actually applies for rest of search. And I'm gonna get into this later on, but just remember that for now. So for product pages, we have a 25% increment, then top of search, 50% increment. So you can pause this video and take your time to read the explanation and analyze the image. But going back to what I was saying, if you want to focus your sponsored ads on top of search, there's actually a strategy that you can use. And this is interesting because not a lot of sellers, not a lot of experts know about this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna use fixed bids, and then you're gonna set your base bid very low, and then you're gonna have a very high increment for top of search placement. And the reason for this is by having a very low base bid and then high increment for top of search, your bid is basically going into top of search only. I see a lot of sellers, what they do is they follow Amazon's suggested bids, and then they set a very high increment for top of search placement, resulting in a very expensive bid. Because of what's happening, if you do that, you're competing for two placements. You're competing for rest of search and then top of search at the same time. The thing is though, rest of search, it refers to the middle of the search results page and the bottom, and for second page and beyond as well. So with that in mind, why would you want your product to be shown on second page and beyond when it can be shown on top of search first page? So you can do this strategy if you have a product that you want to show on top of search always. And this is coming from Amazon, so I'm not just making this up. This is proven. So if you have a campaign, by digging through some of your reports, you found a campaign that really does well on top of search placement, then you can do this strategy. Moving on. So we're still under the creation for sponsored products manual campaign. So you scroll down, this is what you're gonna see. You get to choose the name for your ad group and add the products that you want to advertise for your campaign. And then keep on scrolling down, you're gonna see keyword targeting. So this is the part where you can add or you can choose the keywords that you want to target, and you get to choose if it's for broad match, phrase match, or exact match. But once you added a keyword, it's going to show up on the other side, the right hand side, and you get to change their individual bids. And just below that, you're going to see negative keyword targeting. And the best way to describe this is it's the blacklist feature for your campaigns. So you basically put the keywords that are not converting in here so that in the future your campaigns will not target them. And this is very useful if you're running automatic campaigns. Since remember, in automatic campaigns, you don't get to choose the keywords that you want to target, and Amazon will target the keywords that it believes are relevant to your product. So once you see on the reports that there are some keywords that are not converting well, then you can list them down and then put them in here. And now moving on to automatic campaign. So You still get to choose the name for your campaign, set the daily budget and everything, and then you scroll down, you choose automatic targeting first, and once you choose that, this is what you're gonna see. So instead of choosing keywords or adding keywords, you get to see this instead. So you have four groups that you can target. You have close match, loose match, substitutes, and complements. Close match, those are the products that are closely related to your products. Loose match, products that are loosely related to your products. Substitutes, products that can be substitutes to your products. And complements, products that are complementary to your products. And then you also get to do negative product targeting for automatic campaigns. And of course, you also get to do negative keyword targeting. So, negative product targeting, you can only see that in automatic campaigns, just to let you know. Okay, we're done with sponsored products now, and let's move on to sponsored brands. So when you choose sponsored brands, you're still gonna see the same thing, portfolio, daily budget, you still get to see that. But when once you scroll down, this is what you will see. So you will see ad format. You have three options: product collection, store spotlight, and video ads. So we're gonna proceed first with product collection. So when you choose that, and just underneath that you have landing page, and you get to choose the store and the page that your customer will land on upon clicking your ad. This is what it looks like to them. So when they type in a search query and then your product appears on the search results page, it's going to show up on the very top of the search results page. It's literally just under the search bar for Amazon. So it highlights your brand and then three or more of your products. So you need to at least have three products on your store, otherwise it wouldn't be possible. You also need to be brand registered, of course. But as you can see, and on the bottom right of the ad, you have the sponsored indication, indicating that it's a sponsored ads. And it can also be shown on the search footer, like on the bottom of the page. When you keep on scrolling down, your sponsored brands ad will also be shown in this format. So as you can see, it only highlights your brand. And when you choose product targeting, so you have the option to choose product targeting when you're creating a sponsored brands product collection and store spotlight ad. You get to choose product targeting, and this is what it looks like on the product detail page. So it's gonna show up on brands you might like. Now, when you choose store spotlight, it's mostly the same thing, but the difference is how it appears on the customer side. So when they type in a search query and then your product shows up on the search results page, this is what it looks like. So it's kind of the same, but the difference is it highlights the sub pages from your store, not the individual products themselves. So as you can see, coffee makers, toasters, blenders, these are sub pages from Kitchen Smart. And lastly, we have video ads. So it's the most different. It's very different compared to the other two. So you get to showcase your video for your product in here, and there's only one placement for this, and that's on the middle of the search results page. So you have to be creative with this because you need to grab their attention, especially for the first few seconds, if you really want them to click on your ad. But this is what it looks like on desktop. And when they're scrolling on mobile or when they're using the Amazon app, and then they scroll down on the middle of the page for a search result page, your video ad will almost take up their screen. So it's very good when it comes to mobile because it almost takes their screen. So it's really gonna grab their attention. So if you're good with video, then you can take advantage of video ads. All right, now we have sponsored display, the last type of sponsored ads. And this is different compared to the other two, like sponsored products and sponsored brands. because with sponsored display, you're not targeting keywords, but rather you're targeting either products or ASINs or audiences. So just underneath targeting, of course, you still have the option to name your campaign, daily budget. You scroll down, you're gonna see this, and then just under targeting, for this example, we're gonna choose audiences, and just underneath that, you have audiences. So views remarketing and Amazon audiences. We're gonna go with this first, and when you scroll down, you're gonna see bidding. You have two bidding optimization options. You can either optimize for page visits or optimize for conversions. Optimize for page visits, this is when you want your ad campaign to be optimized for page visits. Otherwise, if you want your ad campaigns to be more focused on conversions or sales, then you want to choose optimize for conversions. So for views remarketing, so this is what it looks like when you get on the audiences part. So to explain views remarketing, your ad will basically be shown to the customers who will click your advertised products within the past 30 days. And it's going to be shown to them on and off Amazon. So even when they're not shopping on Amazon, it will still be shown to them. So when they're just doing regular browsing, there's a chance that your ad may pop up as long as they click it within the past 30 days. And you can change the look back option. It can be within the past 15 days. That depends on you. But views remarketing doesn't only target audiences or customers or shoppers who have viewed your product for the last 30 days. It can also target shoppers who have viewed similar products and specific categories. And after that, once you created a views remarketing campaign, this is what it looks like to the customers. So your ad is its ad format is kind of like a banner shaped thingy. It's gonna show up on the left hand side of the browser or on the left hand side of the page. And when you do product targeting for this campaign, this is what it looks like on the product detail page. So as you can see, the placement is just under the buy box. And sometimes it can even show up under the bullet points. One thing to remember for views remarketing, it automatically filters out shoppers who've already purchased your advertised products. So that's it. And moving on to searches and purchases. As for searches, it targets shoppers who's it targets shoppers who search for keywords relevant to your advertised products. So this is very similar to sponsored products automatic campaign that you give the controls to Amazon that it targets keywords that it thinks are relevant to your advertised products. The differences are this is CPM, cost per mile or cost per 1000 impressions. So you get charged every time you reach 1000 impressions. And it's being displayed in a sponsored display ad format, and it can also show up outside of Amazon, not just within Amazon. For purchases, it targets shoppers who previously purchased your advertised products. So this is also cost per 1000 impressions or CPM. So you need to be cautious on how you use this. Uh, so you need to be cautious on how you use purchases. It works well if your advertised product that you're selling, if it's a consumable type. If it's an electronic, then might as well forget about this. It can also show up outside of Amazon. To the next one, ACOS and ROAS. So what are these two and what's the difference between the two of them? ACOS stands for Advertisement Cost of Spend, shows how much you've spent on ads relative to your sales, while ROAS, Return on Ad Spend, shows your revenue return for every dollar you've spent on an advertisement. So these two, they're the two sides of the same coin, in that they provide the same information but at different perspectives. They show how much you've spent on advertisements than how much you've made on sales. To further elaborate on this, I'm gonna give you an example right here, and this is a report that I extracted from Seller Central. So you have your portfolio or the campaign, and then ACOS and ROAS. For ACOS, it's in percentage format, while ROAS it's in dollars format. And for ACOS, the lower the better. For ROAS, the higher the better. So with that in mind, if you're just gonna look at ACOS alone, it doesn't really tell you much about your ad campaign performance. But if you're gonna look at ROAS, it does give you an idea. Because going back to the definition of ROAS, for every dollar that for every dollar that you spend on this ad campaign, you're getting $2.19 back. So it's giving you an idea that I'm getting something back. So for this ad campaign, it's pretty successful. It's doing well. But if it's below $1, let's say 95 cents or 90 cents, then you need to worry because you're losing money. That means that for every dollar that you spent on that ad campaign, you're gaining 95 cents or 90 cents in return only. So you need to take care of that. If that's the case, you need to take actions. As for ACOS, you need to know your break even first or your net profit percentage for you to have an idea. And speaking of those two, while ACOS and ROAS are very important matrices for your ad campaigns, it doesn't tell you if your Amazon business as a whole is profitable or not. Because ACOS and ROAS, they don't factor product cost, Amazon fees, and other liabilities. So that's why you need to know your net profit and your break even. Because let's say your break even ACOS is 30%, and then your ACOS is 25%. That means that your ad campaign is doing well because there's still some profit left. If it's the same as your break even, then that means that you're spending all of your profit to your advertisements. You're at a standstill. You're not gaining anything nor you are losing anything. Now we're done with that. We're gonna answer these two questions now. How does PPC relate to SEO? PPC relates to SEO in a way that if you're deciding to run PPC ads for your products, then you need to go through SEO first. We always need to remember our goal as an Amazon seller, and that is to rank organically on the first page. Yes, PPC will help us show on the first page. Now what? You're not getting enough clicks. Turns out that the keywords that you're indexing has a pretty low search volume. Or let's say you're getting enough clicks, but you're not getting enough conversions. Your conversion rate is really low. It might be because the images that you don't have enough images, or they're not high quality, or something to do with external optimization. So that's why you need to make sure that your products are SEO ready before you run PPC ads on them. And I haven't mentioned this, but there is something what we call the honeymoon period on Amazon. And I'm sure that there are some of you who has heard or already know what honeymoon period is. But honeymoon period is Amazon will give you a head start for your newly launched products. So Amazon will boost your newly launched products in their organic ranking than normal. And it might just be what you need because I know that there are some sellers who like to start it slow, but you're missing on the honeymoon period if you're doing that. It might just be the velocity, the early boost that you need so that you can start getting those sales. And this only lasts for 4 weeks. And lastly, how can it help your Amazon business? So Amazon is a very big place. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, e-commerce marketplace out there. And if you're deciding to sell something on Amazon, then chances are somebody else are already selling them. Why would they go with you, someone who doesn't have a lot of reviews, who hasn't sold much units, over to someone who has a lot of reviews and has proven the legitimacy of their products? So PPC helps you solve that problem by showing your product on the same place as your competitors. It helps you compete with the big cats. Sure, you don't have a lot of reviews yet, but if more and more people are seeing your product, then it's inevitable that someone will purchase your product. So sometimes it's not to do with the product title, the images, the product itself, or even the selling price. Sometimes it's more to do with marketing, which makes sense because how will you get a sale if people are not aware of its existence? So if you're good at advertising or you know someone who's good at advertising, then I can assure you that's going to give you the edge over your competitors. And why stop at Amazon advertisement? You can do advertisements outside of Amazon. For example, Facebook advertisements. With the attribution tool, the possibilities are limitless. So that's gonna be it for this video. There's a lot more to talk about Amazon PPC, but I cannot cram every information about it. I cannot share everything in this video. So if you have any questions or issues with your Amazon business, then you can contact me and we'll discuss about them. I'll be more than happy to work with you guys. Anyway, this is Clarence and peace out.